Today guys we take a look at Screaming Steel, a mod for Day of Infamy. And it's funny because Day of Infamy started as a mod for the original Insurgency and then became its own game. And it's good to see mods still active in a game with low player base with Day of Infamy. In the Screaming Steel the settings go back to World War I. And while the gameplay is still Day of Infamy, you see different weapons and you see how sometimes they behave differently. For example, the assault rifles, which unless you go very close to the enemy you won't deal much damage. Then you see addictions like armor, in which in Day of Infamy was never added. We've seen this in Insurgency, we've seen armor in Insurgency Sandstorm, but in Day of Infamy it was never considered. And it's good to see also dedicated classes like the Officer, the Radio Man, all with different uniforms, the Radio Man with the different model for the radio, different models for most of the weapons. And what's also great to see, it's dedicated classes like the Bomber, in which you have a lot of grenades available, but you are very weak in terms of self-defense because you only have a pistol. And I really appreciate when the game forces you to play in a certain way with certain classes, in a way that benefit your team the most. So you know that the assault class, now you have to get close. With the Bomber you have to use grenades and throw them from cover and not be too exposed to long range engagements. It's really cool to see. And the mod goes as far as adding new melee weapons, something that I didn't expect. And it's good to see the mods being updated even if the game doesn't have a huge player base. It's really cool. And you see those players which love the game so much, then they play it every day despite the game not getting new players regularly, maybe just on sales once in a while. So what we can learn from this is that the workshop and the players which are modding the game are keeping many of those games alive. We've seen it with Skyrim, which became immortal thanks to mods. We've seen this with Fallout, we've seen this with the previous Insurgency, we've seen now Day of Infamy, still updating despite the low player base, and it brought me back to playing Day of Infamy. So I truly hope that the workshop will come soon also for Insurgency Sandstorm, and I'm sure that someone in the community will create amazing things, and if that's the case, I want to cover it in my channel. I want to support those modders because most of the time they're using their free time to do those mods. They're not doing it for money, and they're doing it out of passion, out of love for the game, or for animating or making models or making maps, depending on what they're working on. And the workshop also brings opportunity for people to find a job, because if they're passionate about something and they work on it and they show improvement, I'm sure that someone will hire them. That's what happened with Insurgency Sandstorm. I believe some people that modded for the original Insurgency then ended up being part of the Insurgency Sandstorm team. So guys, there's not much else I want to say. If you like this mod or you would like to try it and you have Day of Infamy, there are servers with bots, so if you don't see any players, the bots can give you a nice challenge in both multiplayer and cooperative, especially in cooperative if you play Commando, because the bots will be very aggressive, very limited heads-up display, and if you make the wrong move, you're dead. So guys, that's it, and instead of leaving you by ending the video, I will leave you a little bit of gameplay. Thank you guys for watching.
Sie beschießt mich!